Back hacker, so far you have learned the basics of HTML tags. You know what nesting is through using unordered lists and list items. And today we are going to continue on with our education in the basics of HTML to build us towards that career in web development. Now, first thing we're going to do is, like always, we're going to go over the challenge from before. The last challenge is going to serve us as review, moving forward as building blocks to add on to our HTML knowledge. So our challenge last time was that we were introduced to unordered list and list items. And we had three challenges. The first challenge was creating a unordered list with 5 items in it. So let's start. So the first thing we're going to do is some review. First thing is we're going to create a HTML tag. In this case, we're going to create an unordered list. So to start an HTML tag, you use the less than sign, and then you're going to use the UL. The U stands for unordered, and the L stands for list. Next thing, I'm going to make sure I close that unordered list with Matt Damon stopping in front of the unordered list, like so. So this is the basics. We got this. We created this tag. Now we know for an unordered list that we have to create list items inside of it. We have to nest it inside of it. So I'm going to say item 1. So in this case, I'm going to type these out. So as you're starting out, type it out. Keep going. And then the last one here. Oh, actually that was it. I wanted to create 5. So that is our unordered list. And we have our nesting. We have an unordered list, and inside of that we have list items. So the next part of the challenge was create a ordered list. So an ordered list starts with OL. O is for ordered, and then L is for list. Inside of that we have items. We have the list item. So I'm going to just put list item on this one because it's going to count for me. That's the difference between an unordered list and a ordered list. And I wanted 6 of these ones. Oh, missed my greater than. All right. So then we had the super duper challenge, which was create a unordered list of 6 items inside of an ordered list. Ooh, okay. So we're getting into a little bit more of this nesting. So I'm going to say ordered list, and then again, best practice is going to be to just stop it right away. Then I'm going to have a list item, and I want to stop this one right away too, just to make sure I don't mess that up at all. Then, so you'll see that they're nested inside of each other. Inside of here, I'm going to create a unordered list, and I will stop this unordered list. Oops. Like that. I missed my I up here. There you go. And then inside of here, I'm going to create a list item, and I have 6 of them. Item. Now I know I told you not to do this, but I'm going to copy and paste just to keep this faster, a smaller video for you, because I know time is important for us. So here you go. That is the answer. We have an unordered list, and then inside there we have a list item, and then we have an unordered list, and then list item, list item, list item, list item, list item, and that's what it should look like. So if you've gotten that, you get extra brownie points for being amazing. If you didn't and you got these first 2, don't worry, you will eventually get there. The point is repetition. So good job, keep going. Now, today what we're going to do is we're going to continue on, and we're going to teach you anchor tags. Now you all know anchor tags. You actually use them probably quite a bit. You interact with them without even knowing what an anchor tag is. An anchor tag is just a link. So just how I clicked right there and I went to this page, that's it. That is an anchor tag. It is a link. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new tab or a new pin. You can name this anchor tags if you want to, or anchors. You can save it. You're going to be given a challenge at the end of this. So if you want to play along, great. If not, you can wait for the challenge. I'll give you the challenge at the end. So today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about anchor tags. The way an anchor tag works is you first start by creating a tag. You use the less than symbol to tell us that you're creating something. What are you creating? Is whatever's right after that. That is an A. That's an anchor tag. And then we're going to stop it. And then we're going to say Google here. So now I have some text, okay? Now, if I click on Google, nothing happens. Well, I'm going to introduce you to something new, and these are attributes, HTML attributes. So first thing we've done is we've created a tag, we have some words, and then we've ended that tag, right? Now, we can add more information about that tag, and that's called attributes. An attribute looks something like this. We're going to have href equal sign, probably no one else caught on that, and then google.com. So you'll notice now that on this right hand side that the Google has an underline and it's turned to a different color. So if I save this and I'm going to change the view, I'm going to go debug mode so we can see what happens. I'm going to click on Google and it's going to take me to google.com. So what's happening here? What's happening is that I had created an anchor tag and then I set a attribute or property that is equal to something. And what's equal to is whatever inside this quotation mark. So whatever, so we have here, the way this works is we have attribute equals property, or what's inside. So attribute, what are we describing? How are we describing it? What are we describing? Href, which is just a fancy word to say a link. How are we describing it? A link to Google. So if I go like this, I have now a link to Google. If I wanted to create another one of these, an anchor tag, href, https, amazon.com. Here you go. So if I save this, change view, debug mode, click on Amazon, it's going to take me there. Now, if you want to link to a specific page, there's another way to do this. You can grab a link. Let's say this one. I copy this, Control C, and then I come back here and I just paste all of that right here. If I hit save, I'm going to go to change view, debug mode, and then I'm going to click on that and it's going to take me to that specific page. That's just one way to show you how you can link to a specific page. Well, that's an interesting, I don't know what page we're on here, but that's okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to undo it. Now I'm going to show you a website called W3 Schools. So if you go to Google and you type in a tag, you're probably going to see a result. One of the first results is going to be this W3 Schools. And W3 Schools is a very, very great resource. And the way it works is it gives you all sorts of tags. It gives you information about it. And now we know what an attribute is. And it's something not to be afraid of. So I have attributes. We have the title of the attribute or what we're going to type and the value and a description of it. So we have here href. Let me zoom in a little bit. Href right here. So if I go over here, we have the attribute. It equals, what is it equal to? It equals to the value of a URL. This is a URL. So this href, this link equals this URL, and that's it. Now this has some other attributes you can have. We can have a target, which I'll show you right now. This is going to be a part of your different challenge. A target specifies how we want to load that new page. So for example, here by default, our target is going to open up on the same page. Okay, so it's going to open up where we currently are. What I mean by that is if I go here, so let's reopen this here, change debug mode. So I'm in this tab, and if I click on Amazon, that tab reloads, right? Now let's say I wanted it to open a new tab. How do I do that? Okay, well what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to go here and I'm going to play around with some of these. Let's try this. So I see target and then this blank thing. All right, let's see what this does. So I'm going to say, I'm going to create the attribute. I'm going to just add more information about this anchor tag. That's all an attribute is. And I'm going to say target because that's what it said to do right here. Then I'm going to equal sign it and I'm going to say equals blank. So whatever this is, that's describing what the target is. I'm going to save it. Let's change this view and let's just see what happens. Oh my, it opened up a new tab. Very interesting. So that is what the target blank does, is it opens up a new tab. Compared to this Google one that doesn't have that, it reloads it. Awesome. So again, attribute, what is it equal to? It's equal to blank. Now I'm going to add one more attribute. Let's try this. I'm going to say title equals save this, change view, debug mode. So now let's see if we can see this. So I have here, I have a title, an attribute, I have it equal to, and it says go to Amazon.com. Then I'm going to scroll over this Amazon.com and I'll wait there. And you'll see real small, it says go to Amazon.com. So over Google, let's see what pops up. If it pops up with anything, nothing at all. And here it says go to Amazon.com. So that describes in the title describes the link. This is really good for people for ADA compliancy. It is a really great tool to help with that, to describe what specifically that link is. So again, that's an attribute. So what this is doing is it's describing, first attribute is describing where we're going, which is the URL Amazon. The second one is that we're going to open it up in a new tab. And the third one is the title of it. And that's to help people out to know if they scroll over it and they can read it. Sometimes there's machines that will actually say what the title says out loud for people who have hard of seeing sight. And so that just describes what this link goes to. And this one, it says goes to Amazon.com. So one last thing I want to tell you about before you give you the challenge is you'll notice for me that I have, again, property, equal signs, and then quotation marks, whatever is inside of it. You'll notice though that I use double quotes. You notice that I don't have a single quote and then a double quote. So see how all of this is now turning green? That's because the browser is looking for another single quote to end that attribute. So now look at that. Now this is this Google is correct. But again, watch what happens if I change this back to the equal sign. And actually, let's save this. Let's change our view. So I'm going to save this. Oops, save it. Let's change view. I'm going to go to debug mode. Let's see what happens if I click on Amazon. Oh, it's not even going to let me. Let's go change view, debug mode. Yeah, it's breaking. Like, it doesn't even show me, right? So what's happening is I'm starting with one type of quotation, I'm ending with another. So you want to be consistent. So if I have it like that, so it starts with the single and ends with the single, I want it to be consistent because now it's still working, right? You'll notice that this one has a single quote and this one has a double quote. Now, all this being said is make sure you choose. What I have right now is actually not good programming principles. I should not have a single quote up here and then double quotes down here. I should choose one or the other. I prefer double quotes. So I'm going to have my double quote up here and a double quote up here. But I just want to show you that single quotes and double quotes can sometimes, you can use one or the other. As you get more into other programming languages, these single and double quotes do matter a bit more. But the point is that you're consistent with it. So just wanted to point that out. Now, all of this to say, let's go into our challenge. We're at about 13 minutes of the video. I want to get to this challenge here. So the challenge is really going to be doing what we had just done. So here's the challenge. It's all written out. Is challenge 1, create an anchor tag that links to Google. Change the title to say go to google.com. Then create an anchor tag that goes to amazon.com. Change the title to say go to Amazon and set the target to blank. Now, if you followed along and you did this already, great. But what I want you to do is I want you to either delete that page or create a new code pen and try to do this on your own without doing side by side with the video. So if you've done it once, awesome, working through it with me. Now let's do this again. You can do this. Coding is not that hard. Keep going. You got this. And I'll see you in the next video.